Hello and good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dawn Kelly, and this is the Nourish Spot Hour on Caribbean Buzz Radio. And I'm very, very happy to be here on my second week of this lovely new opportunity that came my way. And I want to say thank you once again to Mr. Nigel Baptiste, who is the general manager of Caribbean Buzz Radio and Caribbean Buzz TV, as you can see right here. So today, I have four of my girlfriends with me, one of which is really important because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't even have a radio show. So I'm going to start on my right, introducing my guest. My first guest to my right is Pauline Swift with Our World Media. Hey, Pauline, what's happening?
Hey, Dawn, how you doing, girl?
I'm glad to have you. And then my next guest, immediately to my right, is Tyra Emerson, Executive Director of Cultural Collaborative Jamaica, and very, very good friend of mine. We've known each other, Tyra, I think, for over 20 years, right? Since them babies was little,
yes.
right?
Mm-hmm. And they grown now.
Yeah, they grown now, exactly. Thank you very much for being here, sis.
Hi, Dawn.
And then to my immediate left, I have Miss Crystal Sugar Campbell.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm
nice
fine.
to be here.
I'm glad you're here. And Crystal and I were honored last week during the Celebrating Wonderful Women event, which we talked about last week with one of the organizers, Cassell Lee. The other organizer and sponsor of the event is Miss Emerson, but she wasn't around last week, and so we couldn't have her on the show. So since today is the last Saturday of Women's History Month, I thought what better way to send off the month by having Tyra here to talk about what led her to partner with Cassell and to host such a lovely event at a venue. I'll tell you quite honestly, I didn't know did things like that. So that flapjack fundraiser was kind of cute. I'll be really honest. It was really cute. The people at the restaurant, Applebee's of Jamaica, thank you. They were really kind, okay, and served us very nicely, you know.
It was nice.
And so let's start with you, Tyra. What made you get involved?
Oh, it's very easy for me to get involved when it's something for women. So when Cassell said to me that she wanted to celebrate women, I said, okay, let's do it. And she started suggesting people. I started suggesting people. And what I was so excited about was I felt like it was really women that's out there and this behind the scenes working, and to get a chance to be in front. You know, so I really enjoyed that part.
And so what made you pick Miss Crystal?
Yeah, what you pick me?
What made you pick Crystal?
Because Crystal lives in my neighborhood,
Okay.
and she's always helping to do things. When I tell her that the collaborative is doing something, either she donates her time or or monies to the event, and I was always appreciative of that. But what stuck in my mind was we had an event. It was haircuts for the holidays, and it was for people who were less fortunate, and they have a lot of children. You know, that comes out to a lot of money.
Right.
You gotta cut a lot of heads. And her Crystal and her brother and her other partner, Reggie, they came, they cut hair all day. We didn't expect the girls to come, but girls came too. Crystal said, I'm gonna wash and blow dry their hair.
Wow.
And and they was thrilled. It was really, really nice. And I always thought about that. And after I select her, you can tell me when to stop talking. After I selected her, I had saw on Facebook that Crystal said, okay, everyone that's affected by the shutdown,
Yes.
for President Trump.
Right.
She said, "Come get your hair cut." I was like, "I know I picked the right person."
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I
you
knew I picked the right person.
So you're watching the Nourish Spot Hour. I'm Dawn Kelly on Caribbean Buzz Radio, and we're talking here today with Pauline Swift, Tyra Emerson, Crystal Sugar Campbell, and myself. So Crystal, how did it feel to be honored? And tell us more about some of these wonderful, selfless events that you engage in.
I felt honored. I love giving back to the community. It's just when I'm doing something, I do things from my heart, and no one has to tell me to do it. I don't want to be recognized because, like Tyra, no, I'll tell Tyra something. You don't even tell them that I did it. Because if you didn't do it from you're telling everybody it wasn't from the heart. But then things like this come out, and now y'all know. But like when the government shut down, just to see the people, they're working every day, and they're not getting paid. But I said, you know what? Once someone's hair is done, they feel good about themselves, and it's a pick me upper. So that just came in my head one morning, and I spoke to my man, and he was like, it's good, it's a good thing, and he was like, wow. I was like, wow. And anything dealing with the community, I love to be involved in because I like people. I'm a people person, and I like to see people happy.
That's wonderful.
Because I'm happy.
That's wonderful. How long have you been doing hair? Like, how long have you been engaged in the whole grooming thing?
Okay, we're gonna go all the way back to 1979.
Ooh, I was getting out of high school.
Well, my mom put the Barbie doll head in my lap ever since, and I haven't put it down. I have pictures of me doing doll's heads, different styles growing up. My family had pictures, and so you could say I've been doing hair about 49 years.
Wow, wow.
So that's
you must be really good.
Yes, I am. I don't know. I have clients. Let me know. Am I good?
And so how for those people that are out there in New York and New Jersey and want a new hairdo, how do they get in touch with you, Crystal?
Oh, y'all could come to Black Star Unisex Hair Salon, located on 198-03 Jamaica Avenue, Hollis, New York, 11423. The phone number there is 718-468-4411. 718-468-4411. Me and my brothers will come, and you come and get laced up. It's lit.
Wow.
When you leave, you will be lit. If you come with no hair, you want hair, I got you. I got you. You won't see no tracks here because we ain't at a train stop.
Oh, love it. You heard that? I like that line. So, Tyra, let's talk about you. Let's talk about the Cultural Collaborative of Jamaica. And what is that? For many of the people that are watching or listening, they may not be aware. And how long have you been involved with the organization?
Oh my God, you see. Cultural Collaborative is a nonprofit organization, and our mission is to link the arts to economic development in Southeast Queens. So with that, we do different programs that in the beginning was to promote Jamaica because it had a negative stereotype. I'm going to say we've been successful in trying to change that. So what we've done now is we're promoting Jamaica for all of the history and the good things that are here, like the Nourish Spot, in like Black Star Unisex, and One World, our world.
Yeah.
Sorry, in our world. So and that's what we do. One of the major things that we do is the Jamaica Jams Festival, and that shows how we link the arts to economic development. So it's our hope that everyone that when they arrive to Jamaica, that they spend their dollars in Jamaica. Queens.
So when is Jams? When is it happening in 2019?
Jams is always the first weekend in August, and this year is going to be August 2nd and 3rd. which is a Friday and Saturday.
So explain to us what happens on the second.
On the second, which is Friday night, it's called Jams Under the Stars. And what we do is we have a concert in Rufus King Park, and from 6 to 10, we showcase local talent as well as national talent. And most times, we invite everybody to get up and enjoy the festivities. We also tell everyone what's going to happen the next day. And the next day is on the 3rd, we will shut down Jamaica Avenue for 11 blocks. It's from Parsons Boulevard to 170th Street. We have specialty blocks. We have a kids block. We have a farmer's market. We have a sound stage. And we have like over 400 vendors and store owners that participate.
And how many years has Jams been in existence?
Jams has been in existence for 23 years.
Wow, 23 years.
Mm-hmm. When we first started doing it, and Dawn, you was on the committee, we just wanted to have a festival, so we thought we was gonna have like this nice, cute thing, that would last, a year or two. We started off on York College's campus. That first time, I think we had they were saying almost 20,000 people. So we thought, we were like, oh, we might be on to something. And so we did that at York College for 3 years. Outgrew that, went to Rufus King Park and did that for about 2 or 3 years. And we outgrew that, and now we shut down Jamaica Avenue.
Love it. And so if people want to get in touch with you, Tyra, for jams or any of the other events that you are engaged in, how do they get in touch with you?
They can call me at 718-526-8700, or they can email me at info@go2ccj.org.
Thanks a lot. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna take a slight break, and then when we return, we're gonna talk to Miss Pauline Swift of Our World Media, so she can tell us what's going on with her media company and all the new and wonderful things that they're engaged in as well.
I look forward to that.
Thank you. This is the Nourish Spot Hour on Caribbean Buzz Radio. I'm Dawn Kelly. This is the Nourish Spot Hour. I'm Dawn Kelly, and we're on Caribbean Buzz Radio. And today, or this afternoon, I'm with Tyra Emerson, Crystal Sugar Campbell, and Pauline Swift. And before we went to break, we were talking to Tyra about the Cultural Collaborative of Jamaica and her marquee event in August, the Jams Fest. So Tyra, if people are interested in having their artists, or they themselves are seeking to perform, or a store like the Nourish Spot wants to show up and vend, how do we make that happen?
All right, there's a number of ways. If you're an artist and interested in performing, you should email us a link of your performance at artist@go2ccj.org. So it's GO2CCJ.org. So artist@go2ccj.org. So we need your link, and we can also use you can do Dropbox as well if you want to do that.
And what about if you want to be a vendor? What do you do?
If you want to be a vendor, you can email us as well at jams@go2ccj.org. Again, jams@go2ccj.org.
Thank you. Excellent. So, Pauline, thanks for being here on my show.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you, ma'am. Many of you may not know, but 2 weeks ago, I had the pleasure of being a guest on Pauline and Mr. Glenn Greenwich show called the
Hour of Power.
Yes.
Our World, Hour of Power.
Yes. And as a result of me being on their show, hence I'm having my own show. So I'm deeply indebted to Pauline and Glenn and Pauline's son Joe for having me on the show. But while we were talking, I learned something. You see, when I threw open the doors to the Nourish Spot in September of 2017, as a PR person, I don't know if I've explained that to you guys, but I spent my whole career as a public relations professional working for a number of nonprofit and corporate companies. And in September of 2015, my job was eliminated and I was thrown into, kind of an abyss of grief because I really hadn't planned out what I was going to do with the rest of my life. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. But the Nourish Spot, God gave me the idea of doing the Nourish Spot, and the Nourish Spot is doing very, very well.
Yes, it is.
But one of the first people, because I had to start promoting the Nourish Spot, and for those of you that are out there that are PR people, I know you know how hard it is to promote yourself. Okay, now I could promote anybody. As I used to say, I could promote dog food with no problem. But I had so much challenge, internal challenge, making the decision to actually write a news release about what my children and I were doing, to send it out to the media. And I don't know why, because I do that for everybody else. But it just felt weird, But I talked to myself, I encouraged myself, and I really said, listen, if you don't do it, who's going to do it? And in order for you to get customers and have people walking in the door, you got to tell people you exist. So get at it. And one of the first people to come and interview me was Pauline and Our World Media. So I want to say first, thank you for that.
You're quite welcome.
Second, during our conversation, Pauline mentioned to me that I was the first advertiser. And I would tell you that made me happy, but it also made me think about what African American and diverse media organizations have to do in order to stay afloat.
That's true.
So Pauline, first, tell us about Our World Media.
Well, Our World Media started out as a joke. My son is a photographer and a videographer, and he wasn't getting the jobs that he needed to get in the field of what he wanted, which was the media. So one day I said to him, I'm going to make you a job. I just said that just like that, and it was a joke. And I said, something, we need to have a magazine. And he says, yeah. I says, yeah. And I said, you know what I'm going to do? All my celebrity friends that I've known from the past, all the different singing groups, I can interview them. And you could put all these articles in the magazine. And I have some friends that are writers, and they would love to write. So that's how Our World came about.
Wow.
Yeah, and I spoke to Wayne Gilman from WBLS. I asked him if he wanted to come in, and another gentleman called George Nora, Dr. George Nora, and he's a journalist. So I spoke to them, and they said, yeah, we don't mind participating. But I did not know really what I was getting into, because I was thinking about this, being on the radio, because that's my background.
Okay.
All right, so I didn't really know about all this writing. I had to sit down and write articles and this and that. So it was very much in depth.
Okay.
All I knew was I wanted my son to get ahead.
Right.
And I knew I had the answer.
Okay,
Right? So that's how Our World came about, because I knew in my heart that my magazine and Joe's magazine was going to take off. And I wanted him to succeed. So that's how Our World happened.
That's lovely.
That's
That's lovely.
great.
Look, I need to applaud you,
Yeah,
because
that's
as a
nice.
mom,
Beautiful.
and are you a mom too, Crystal?
Yes,
And I know you're a mom because we raised them kids together. We go to great lengths to make sure our children succeed.
Yes.
They don't even understand the prayers, the tears, you know, the worries that we have when we're trying to decide how we can help, you know, kind of lift them up and push them gently into their chosen areas of focus, right? So Joe's in the room. You all can't see him, but he's in the room, and so we went. There he is.
That's my son.
We want to say thank you to Joe, because Joe is also our videographer. He makes sure that he documents what we're doing here. So tell us more about Pat. Tell us more about.
The idea was great, and I was able to put it together pretty simply. And Joe did most of all the work. He did the photography, he did the graphic, he did some writing as well. So he is the meat and the potatoes of Our World Media Magazine. Then about 2 years into it, I happened to meet a gentleman called Mr. Glenn Greenwich, the executive director of Southern Bid. I was at a function and I met him. And I said to him that, you know, I wanted to start a community paper. And he said, yeah, that sounds good. I said, I want to really get into the community. And I said, well, what should I call it? So I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call it Our World Southern News. All right. And Joey looked at me like I was crazy. And he says, what's wrong with you, mother? And I said, you know, I can get advertisers from the community on Southern Boulevard and Jamaica Avenue. So when I met you, I said, Joe, we got ourselves an advertiser. I said, I want to speak to you, Dawn, and ask you if you wanted to advertise the Nourish Spot. And you said yes. So you became the first advertiser that we had.
Thank you.
And after that good feeling that I got from you, I said, well, now I'm going to start knocking on other doors on Jamaica Avenue and Southern Boulevard and see who else wants to advertise. So I'm still out there, audience. I'm still looking for advertisers. I need them desperately, as a matter of fact. And whoever wants to advertise, please contact me at 646-340-7271 or ourworldmedia@gmail.com. I'm always out in the street. You can reach me. Also, another number, 917-300-5570, and it's Our World Media Magazine and Our World on Southern News.
So tell us, what's going on new? Like, what's some new stories you got coming
Well, the new story is, oh my goodness, by doing an interview on Southern Boulevard, there was a furniture store I was doing an interview on, you know, to promote it. Like how I did yours, Dawn. So we're doing an interview, and I said to the gentleman that's the owner of the furniture store, I says, you know, I'm also thinking about I should get into radio. I want to go back into radio because that was my first job, radio. And he says, really? I says, yes, I would like to have, again, a community-based radio program. So he says, you know what? I know some people in Jamaica Ave that is getting ready to put together a program. You should speak to them. And he says, you know what? Right after our interview, I'll take you and your son over.
Wow.
So I got over here.
That's sponsorship.
Yes. And what happened was, Joe knew his partner, Kevin. And we met Kevin in Philadelphia, not knowing that he was connected to Nigel. So once we found out everybody knew each other, that made a blend. And Nigel was very kind. He says to me, you know what? I'm going to give you and Joey your hour.
That's good.
For a show.
Good.
And I says, really? I says, I want to get back into radio anyway, so this is great. So my son, of course, says to me, oh no, you want to kill me. He says, you're giving me too much work. I says, no, Joey. I says, Joe, you can do it. You can handle it. You can handle a magazine. You can handle a newspaper, and you can also handle radio. He says, no. I says, yes. So I said to Glenn, when do you want to start this? this, you know.
Right.
I said, you know what we should do? We should start right after the holidays.
Okay.
That's what I contacted you, Dawn.
Yes.
And I said, you know, I want to put together a show. I want you involved in the show.
Yes.
And look what has happened.
Yes.
You have your own show. And
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Well, listen, there's a couple of things that I heard you say, and I want to reiterate. So one is the strength of your network, the people that you know. You know, we never know who that's in our, you know, environment, who's that's in our Rolodex, like what they can help us do, like what's, you know, what buildings they can help us climb. So it's really important, if you haven't spoken to your friends lately, okay, get together with your girlfriends and your male friends and let's build together. Let's talk about some of the things, some of the aspirations that we all want, and figure out how together we can make those aspirations come true. You think that sounds good, Crystal?
Sounds great.
That's what it's all about. It's about communicating.
Yeah.
Yes, and then the other thing is about, and we've all heard this, the whole 6 degrees of separation. We're all connected in some shape, way, or form. If we just take the time to, you know, be still sometimes and figure out who knows who and who knows what, we can probably get faster and quicker to the things in which we want to do, or the things we want to accomplish or purchase, or, you know, be around. So it's really important to network and to cultivate those relationships with the people that you network with. Now, I want to talk about something else, because it's Women's History Month, or as I said in my last show, it's Her Story Month. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about something, because we're all mothers. I want to talk about self-care, right? What are some of the things that you ladies do to take care of yourself? Because from what you said, Pauline, from what you said, Tyra, and from what you said, Crystal, we all are moving like 150 miles an hour. Okay, and so in order to take care of yourself and to make sure that you can continue to do the things that you need to do and to do the things that you want to do, I know there has to be some self-care wellness tips in there.
Yes, and,
right?
and I'm going to start.
All right.
I've had 3 heart attacks, and thank God I've survived them all.
Yeah, thank
But
God.
one of the things that my doctors always tell me is about healthy eating. And changing your diet and working out. You know, I always took care of myself from the outside, you know, my makeup, you know, and stuff like that, cold cream on my face, but I really never took care of the inside. And when the inside started to crumble, that was a very shocking experience. So when I came and I saw your Nourish Spot and I started seeing all these healthy, you know, juices that you have, I started to say, well, you know, it's time for me to start doing this for me. So little bit by little bit, I'm changing my eating habits.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing for me.
Okay. Thank you, Pauline. And what about you, Tyra?
Well, I want to say 2 things.
Okay.
One is that I think that we should be able to laugh or to scream if we need to. We always walk around and everything is so serious, and we got to handle everything. And some days you can't handle it. So it's okay to scream or to laugh about it, you know, because to let it go, not for us to be all bottled up about that. The other thing I want to talk about is that when Jams was coming in the summer last year, this is last year or year before, I said, oh, I have to get ready for the camera. So I was teasing everybody. I said, I have to lose weight, you know, and so forth. So someone at the table said, well, I'll do it with you. And someone else said, I'll do it with you. So then what happened was that then I started getting phone calls. Well, can I bring my sister? Can I bring my auntie? So for a whole year, we exercised together, and we had like about 30 women just from people bringing their sister and their cousin and so forth. And so I started calling it Jamaica Fit.
Okay.
So I'm going to resurrect it only because I got taken away from that, you know, because I was taking care of my mom.
Okay.
But the women still say, Tara, when we getting back together, when are we doing it? So it was just a matter of all of us doing it together that made it work.
And it also works when you have other people with you.
Right.
You know?
You have camaraderie. You have people that's pushing you along.
Because I need that.
You are watching the Nourish Spot Hour on Caribbean Buzz Radio, and I'm Dawn Kelly. So now, Crystal.
Yes.
How do you practice wellness and self-care?
I'm sort of a procrastinator sometimes, but now I changed. I'm a different person because what I realize is a lot of opportunities have passed me, and that's why I'm here now on your show.
Thank you.
And I'm going to start walking. Walking helps me get myself get myself out of a rut. As I walk around the track, I go to Roy Wilkins, I'll go around Jackson, now it's Campus, Magnum. And walking starts for me, then I go to the gym.
Okay.
And I try to show my son also, he's into basketball, and he's really more fit than I am. He does his push-ups in his room. He takes it a little step beyond. He say, Mom, I have to do my sit-ups, and I want to be there. So when he do go to practice, he's ahead of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at him like, that stemmed from me. I just gotta get myself together. I just gotta get myself together with the shop and Trials of Life and stuff. Like Tara, I had a leak in my shop. Mm-hmm. We found it after 23 years. They need a new tub. But I also tell the other women in the salons, what I know. They ask me a lot of questions. It's like when you're a hairstylist, you're like a doctor, therapist, and I tell them what I would do.
Okay.
And they listen. Some of them listen, and that's me. And I just gotta eat right. I gotta start, changing my eating. And this is gonna start right here. I think because I wanted a smoothie earlier. That I was telling you I wanted a smoothie earlier.
And that smoothie I want.
I'm sorry. I love pineapple.
With the mango.
And this is
the mango.
This is the pineapple mango tango.
Oh, I love it. I'm sorry.
And this is the very crazy. And I would tell you,
Which
you
one do I
ladies.
have?
And you have the 24 karat. And so I would tell you ladies that how I practice self-care. One, I pray a lot. I meditate a lot. I'm like a walking prayer. Walking down Jamaica Avenue, I'm praying. But I also, because of the store, I'm up early every day picking up boxes. So that's my exercise. As well as running around the store to fulfill orders, drinking and eating healthy. So I get high on my own supply, okay? So I eat, our wraps, I eat our Greek yogurt parfaits, I eat our salads. And then I walk. I love to walk. So like you, Crystal,
yeah, I love walking.
I don't necessarily I don't have to walk in a park, but that's a nice place to go. And I especially like, what's the park over there right by Baisley Pond. Yeah, I love that park because I love the reeds, the wild reeds that they have growing in the park, and you see frogs and stuff running around. And which is weird because we live in the heart of the city, and so it's not often that you see wildlife like that, like right in the heart of the hood. So I love to walk around there. But I walk my neighborhood. I'll just walk around, look around. Because one, it's good to get out and get into the fresh air. And now that the weather is changing, it's a beautiful spring day today.
Yes, it is.
Now that the weather is changing, maybe we can get Tyra to get this Jamaica Fit organization back together. And then we could go do walks together too, So I do think that those things have helped me to lose weight, and I'm sure that they can help you ladies as well lose weight. I broke my Fitbit. I used to have a Fitbit, but I used to go in the water so much from washing the dishes at the spot that I gave up. I gave up. I'm not buying another one because you can track on your phones, any of you that have, I know definitely on iPhone, I'm not sure about Androids, but you can track your heartbeat, you can track your steps. through the health apps on these phones nowadays. So I would definitely encourage women and men, but definitely the women that are listening to this show today, to take their health seriously, because you only get one life, and if you're not healthy, then nothing else really works out the way you want to, because you always have this lingering thing in your mind about, are you going to be okay? All right. So make yourself okay so that you can go and take care of all of the wonderful dreams and aspirations that you have. You're watching the Nourish Spot Hour on Caribbean Buzz Radio. I'm Dawn Kelly, and I believe that we're going to take a break. This is the Nourish Spot Hour on Caribbean Buzz Radio, and I am Dawn Kelly, and I'm here today with Crystal Sugar Campbell, Tyra Emerson, and Pauline Swift. Pauline is with Our World Media, Tyra is with CCJ, and Crystal, the name of your salon one more time?
It's Black Star Unisex Hair Salon.
I like that name, Black Star. That's what we are. We're Black Stars.
Yep.
And it is the last Saturday in Women's History Month. So I think I'm going to do, for our last couple of minutes on the show, I'm going to ask a couple of rapid fire questions to you ladies and kind of just see what's going on in your head. So my first question, because I love this question and I pretty much ask a lot of kids this question, is what would you do if you knew you would not fail? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I would do hair. I know I'm not going to fail at that.
So
Or helping someone else.
And tell us why.
Like, my joy comes from helping other people. Like, if someone's having a problem with something, and if I can help them, I'll help them, and that gets them to where they want to be, and I'll be happy. I'm all about promoting happiness and well-being.
Okay, I love it. Tyra?
I have a couple of people that in my head. I always wanted to be a lawyer. Okay. So I think I would like to be like, when the president picks, the judicial,
Attorney General?
Think of it. No, not Attorney General. The guy they just sworn in, like Clarence Thomas.
Oh, Supreme Court Justice.
Supreme Court Justice.
Okay, oh, I like that. I like that.
I maybe might as well aim high. Wouldn't just be a lawyer.
That's right. That's right. And Pauline, what about you?
Well, I'm going to say what I'm doing right now. Radio, the magazine, the newspaper. I love interviewing people. I love talking, and that's one of the things that I would continue to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm trying to think, what would I do if I knew I could not fail? I think I would be a pilot, because I love to travel. And so if I could have my own jet and I could pilot it to wherever I wanted to go, I think that I would definitely do that. So my next question for you ladies is, if you could interview, and I'm going to start with you.
Okay.
If you could interview 3 people, dead or alive, what would those 3 people, who would those 3 people be?
Well, it would be Martin Luther King,
Okay.
because I have interviewed Reverend Jesse Jackson several times.
Okay.
So if Martin Luther King was alive, I would definitely ask him for an interview. Spike Lee, I really want to interview Spike Lee, and Tyler Perry.
Okay.
So it's
How about you, Crystal?
Me, I would like to interview Madam C.J. Walker.
Okay. And tell us why. Tell us why.
Because when I read about her, I was into hair, but when I read her story, it got me more interested in doing hair and doing my own products, and I've tried doing my own products. She would be number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, well, it's 4 of them all together.
Okay.
My grandparents.
Okay.
I wish they could come back and see the accomplishments of me, my brothers, my cousins, and you know how we're treating their kids. You know, from the love they showered on my parents, and I would like to meet. Well, she's gone now, Aretha Franklin.
Okay. And tell us why.
Because I love her music.
Okay.
I was listening to her and Mos Def. Mos Def remade one of her songs, and I've been playing it ever since she's passed on. I loved it, and those are my people.
Okay. And how about you, Tyra? Who would they be?
One would be Maya Angelou, because ever since I read her first book, she tells great stories, and I kind of like to hear, how you sit down and hear older people tell stories.
Right.
I would love to interview her. And I like to interview Michelle Obama. I'm just too fascinated with Michelle Obama. Her adventure must be fascinating. I mean, what we see, but imagine all the other stuff,
right?
And besides seeing you when I opened up, when I went on Facebook to see what Michelle was doing, and I go, "That's Dawn Kelly."
That was hilarious. That was
I had to call
hilarious.
Dawn and tell her I saw her, and I think I also would like to interview Octavia Butler. She's just a very interesting writer to me, and I'm sorry that we lost her, but I would really like to interview her.
And so for me, I was trying to think while you guys were talking. One would definitely be Harriet Tubman. Like I would love to have the opportunity to just hear her. Like why does she think that she could do it? Like, why does she think that she can accomplish freeing the slaves? Like, why does she think that? And then, two, like, was she afraid ever? Like, was she ever afraid? And three, how did she know that she was following the right stars? Like, I really wouldn't want to know that.
Right.
The second person, I think I'm gonna piggyback on Tyra. I would love to interview Michelle Obama because, I went to see her during her Becoming tour, and I thought that the questioning of Sarah Jessica Parker was good, but I think that she needs to be interviewed by somebody that walked in her same shoes. Somebody that lived on top of their grandmother, somebody that went to public school for a little while, somebody that was bussed into a different school, because I think the questions would have been different. And the answers definitely would have been a little bit more, I would say, fulfilling for me as a black woman. But don't get me wrong, I enjoyed every moment of listening to the conversation between her and Sarah, because I love Sarah Jessica Parker too. So it was just to see both icons on stage together. It was just overkill, really. And then Michelle's boots, okay, it was overkill. And then the third person I think that I would like to interview is a man. It's not a woman. I would like to interview Warren Buffett. Because of his investing acumen. And, African Americans don't know as much as we should about money. And so I would love to talk to him about money. So with that, I want to thank you, Crystal. I want to thank you, Pauline, and I want to thank you, Tyra, for joining me today on the Nourish Spot Hour. I hope that you all will come visit the Nourish Spot. Again, we're located at 10705 Guy Arborough Boulevard in the heart of Jamaica, Queens. We're open from 8 to 7 Monday through Friday and 10 to 7 on Saturdays. So come on out and get your healthy on, because you are what you put into yourself. This is Dawn Kelly.
Everybody's social media information.
Yes, Crystal, what's your social media? How do they follow you?
On Instagram is Hair Is What I Do. with 2 O's at the end. Facebook is Crystal Sugar Campbell, and located at Black Star Unisex Hair Salon, located on 19803 Jamaica Avenue, Hollis, New York. The phone number is 718-468-4411.
And Tyra, how do people get in touch with you?
Okay, Facebook, Instagram, and what's the other one? Twitter is at Cultural Collab.
And Pauline?
Of course, Facebook, Instagram, and you can also reach us at Our World Media at Gmail. I think it's at Gmail. Yeah, I think so. At gmail.com. And 646-340-7271. Thank you.
And you can follow me, Dawn Kelly, at PRMaven17 on Instagram and Twitter. You can follow the Nourish Spot at the Nourish Spot on Instagram and Twitter as well. And we're on Facebook as the Nourish Spot. Again, thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank
This has been the Nourish Spot Hour on Caribbean Buzz Radio, and we'll see you again next week.